and basic minima of human needs to every Indian was made at the historic hour before midnight when India awoke to freedom. But the midnight continues, and the masses, particularly the Dalits, caught in the darkness, ask in agony, where is the dawn? Social justice is the ideological signature of our constitution, and that is the signature of every country, in fact. Human rights education must be a welcome program aimed at and should be ideally linked to creating a respect for human rights available to all human beings. A right kind of human rights education has to have overtones of local situations and call for a comprehensive approach. Human rights education for all levels is the need of the day, for which every citizen of India should work for to ensure justice, social, economic and political in the age of globalization. The bar has in all ages and countries gradually facilitated the ambitious and the adventures and has thrown up, produced, relatively speaking, the largest number of great men in public life and leaders of the battle for freedom. This should continue. Legal education and profession since then has lagged much behind and to a great extent has not even able to play its role as effectively as it should. We should constantly remind ourselves of a simple fact that the Indian Republic is the most daring and therefore the most difficult experiment in democracy. In fact, all experiments in democracy are facing a great challenge, and all experiments are very, very difficult. The legal profession has to crusade against injustice and exploitation, and legal education, as I said, just education in the new millennium has to prepare the law students to become the frontiermen of legal education. And even after 62 years of independence, the poor man stares at the face of the mankind and asks why he is invisible to the affluent eye of the law. Let the words of Vivekananda not be ignored. He said, so long as the millions live in hunger and ignorance, I hold everyone traitor who, having been educated at their expense, pays not the least heed to them. And in the end, friends, I don't want to take much time because I have to abide by the time constraints. Let us not forget that there is a very narrow line between anger and hunger. So if people are hungry, people are going to be angry. That is the biggest challenge each of our countries is facing in the age of globalization. Let me tell you, I'm not against globalization, but the inequalities globalization is creating we are creating a huge rich class and a huge middle class, which is creating all kinds of environmental problems, and a huge again a poor class. This paradox in any system, it may be Taiwan, it may be India, and the mandate of the social economic justice and the political justice has to be achieved. I think this is the challenge before all of us. It may be students, it may be teachers, it may be scientists. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. And then now I would like to introduce Professor Amar Singh. To share his insight on this certain topic.
角度也是抓这样子的，就是主要对啊，做到对啊。
Professor Wang, Chang, Chi, and other professors whose name I am not in a position to recollect. Professor Ranbir Singh, Pryor, Mrs. Pryor, and of course Radha is there. please sitting along side me, and young friends. I will make few points, and I start with the observation. The idea is to ignite provocations about IPR. I have a special request to the professors who are dealing with IPR to please react to my comments and try to hold me wrong. I am very keen to be held to be wrong. I am making this comment with reference to the role and function of the IPR regime, international level and the national levels. I have some understanding of Indian national regime of IPR. I believe Taiwan cannot be different because the fundamentals are similar. I would like to say like this: the IPR regime, national or international, with reference to the IPRs of the communities, tradition, knowledge and biodiversity, which contains huge IPRs of the communities. The IPR regimes, both at the international and national levels, I believe, is causing molestation. I use this term intentionally as far as the communities IPR are concerned, which you have in the form of biodiversity and the traditional. I think my point shall be more substantiated when Dr. Radha shall be presenting her paper and trying to tell us. I wish that she could have done her before me. My job would have become a little easier. The culture, the cultural products in all and any form, the cultural diversity has its direct linkages with the biodiversity, and both are embodiments of huge volume of IPRs belonging to the communities. If you look into the international regime, the TRIPS has paid, it has not even thought about protecting the communities' IPRs at all. Before I make that point, I want to go quickly through my transparencies, because in that case it shall be very easy for me to bring my theme around and conclusion easily accessible to the audience. So if I say like this, that the function of IPR is to commodify knowledge which is commercially viable. It has different functions to inform in different societies. With reference to capitalist societies, I think the function of IPR is to commodify commercially viable knowledge, privatize it, and market it for profit making. And probably the function in a socialist society is different. Or maybe their IPR regimes try to commodify the commercially viable knowledge so that it may be protected from the pirates around and socialize it for the society's purposes. I am very aware of the fact that profit making is not a respectable thing in socialist understanding, it is a crime. So having said that, if you look into the IPR products, I think main IPR products in this slide I have listed different categories of economic resources, and commercially viable knowledge is I have listed as one of the economic resource with which the IPR deals with. So if you look into this point, I have already made the different functions with the IPR laws they do in capitalist and the socialist society. Let us have a look into the main products of IPR. For example, patents.